guests, Mumtaz Ali Bhatti Saab, Professor A.H. Moon, Professor Abdul Wahid, Finance Officer Samir Wali, Deans, Head of Departments, their students, and other personalities. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And warm welcome to all of you. The main aim of this workshop is to eradicate from the educational institutions and to provide our students serene and safe academic environment. As per the Supreme Court ruling, I quote, "Whosoever directly or indirectly commit or participate in or abet or propagate ragging within or outside any educational institution shall on conviction be punished with imprisonment for a term which may extend to 2 years or with the fine which may extend to 10,000 or with both."
First of all, let me congratulate the Department of Senior Proctor and Dean Students Welfare for organizing this very important event. I'm extremely grateful to our chief guest, Mr. Mumtaz Saab, who is a very well-known figure on the camps. There's a perception about ragging that it means introduction, and this is how juniors and seniors come closer to each other. They get to know each other, and this is a confidence-building measure, for a junior, because he's making a transition from, let's say, school to college or to the university. But if you look at the word ragging itself, it should dispel all such notions, because ragging means, whether by words or by an act or by any kind of writing, if you are trying to create any kind of harm, then it is ragging. So anything which is there to create any kind of harm, how that can be useful, or how that can be supported in any system. So upfront we reject ragging. That is the first message that should go today from these days. Now second is, as a university we are following certain norms, and UGC has come up with anti-ragging norms, what are called as 2009 regulations, wherein they clearly spell out as to what constitutes ragging and what kind of an offense you are committing if you are indulging into ragging. The first offense is, it says that it is a cognizable offense. Now maybe some of you don't know what do you mean by cognizable offense. Cognizable offense means that a police officer can come and arrest you without any warrant and without taking any permission from court, and he can take suo motu action. Suo motu action means a complainant need not to go to the police station to file any kind of a complaint. That means the police officer has an absolute authority to arrest anyone if they feel that he was indulging into any kind of ragging. And it has been bracketed along very serious kinds of offenses, like murder, like dowry death, like rape, robbery, and ragging. Now you can see the level of seriousness that is being assigned to ragging. It's not introduction. Had it been just introduction, then it would have not been classified under a cognizable offense. So that is the first thing that you have to understand, that it's a cognizable offense. And if you list out the punishments which would be meted out at the institution level, if anybody is found indulging or abetting ragging, then the student can be debarred. He can be suspended from the classes. He can be debarred from appearing in the examinations. he can be rusticated. He can be rusticated for 4 semesters for 2 years by the institution, and institution can impose a penalty of, from anything from 25,000 rupees to 1 lakh rupees. And then the institution can certify in his character certificate that he is involved in such a heinous crime, so which means that he cannot be taken up by any other institution. So one has to be very careful, about these things. Now, question is what needs to be done so that students are kept away from this menace. I think awareness is something which is very, very important. So that's why this week, which is being organized at IUST at the behest of UGC, is very important, because basic objective is to create awareness among students. I have myself experienced ragging. When I was a student at Regional Engineering College, it was notoriously famous for ragging. And as first semester students, we would not venture, because we were hostlers also, we would not venture into our hostels during nights. Most of the good part of the night we used to spend on the Dal Lake, the parks around. And we would come back to the hostels only in the early mornings when the seniors would go to the sleep. And this continued for 3 months. Probably that time the institutions were not very aware of any kind of regulation which was there to protect. Again, the general notion was, it is an introduction, so let the seniors enjoy whatever they are doing with the juniors without realizing what were the consequences. And there were instances when the students had to finally give up their engineering programs. They left the hostels, they left the program because they were being ragged, and it was a terrible thing to happen. And there was a physical torture also sometimes. In a room, there used to be a upper kind of a space wherein we are supposed to put our suitcase. So the name given in REC was Shimla, for that particular space. So the first question the senior would ask you, have you been to Shimla? We'll say, nahi sir, chalo Shimla ki chakar karate hum. And we had to climb up that cupboard ke upar wo jo space thi, and we were made to lie down there and rest there for 3 hours. Same thing probably was happening in the institution adjoining nearby, which was Kashmir University. Not to this scale, but it was certainly existing there also. But now things have changed. I mean, there's a huge responsibility on the institutions to ensure that their campuses are free of ragging. Now, when we say campuses, we are not restricting it only to the classroom or to the labs or to the campus arena. It includes everything. It includes cafeteria, it includes sports arena, it includes even transport, buses. You cannot indulge into such things if you are, when you are in a bus. Even outside, I would say, outside campuses also, if somebody makes a complaint that he or she has been ragged, the person can be booked. And here again, the important thing, this is what probably Mumtaza will be able to tell you better, is that the onus of proving innocence lies with the perpetrator, not with the complainant. Suppose I make a complaint against, let's say, Samir Saab, because he is sitting in front of me, that he has ragged me. Now, it is not me who has to prove that I have been ragged. It is up to Samir Saab to prove that he has not ragged me. That's where, I don't know what exactly the technical term is, the onus of proof, burden of proof, yeah, that's the correct word. The burden of proof actually lies with the perpetrator, not with the victim. So this has to be understood very well. Now, second part is when we say that this is a way to introduction, it's a form of induction. No, it's not a form of induction, not at all. But question is, shouldn't there be an interaction, a healthy interaction between seniors and the juniors? And does the UGC regulations provide for any kind of such regulation? The answer is yes. If you read the UGC regulation 2009, it clearly says that the institutions have to provide interaction between the seniors and juniors. It should not be under the garb of ragging. For example, it could be in the form of the freshers party. Senior, throwing a fresher party in honor of the juniors. And it has to be done in presence of the teachers only. It cannot be left to students. So if students are being admitted to a particular department, let's say EC department, and Dr. Feroz throws a party, to the juniors, and the senior students are there. He is also there, and faculty is also there. And let there be an introduction, a healthy introduction. Let the talent come out, which obviously would be there in these freshers, which will finally add up to the talent pool of the university. So these are some of the important things. I am sure the Mumtaza will, give you a deeper insight into the legal aspects and legal framework of this particular aspect. So again, I'd like to congratulate Dean Students Welfare and our Proctorial Office, Jamil Saab and others who are engaging students for this, organizing this anti-ragging week for a week. And this, obviously, this is an admission time, and the beginning of the admission time, we organize an induction program, which is for 6-7 days. So there also we'll be repeating the same thing when the juniors would join us. There are a number of actually undertakings which a student has to sign when he's being admitted to a student, which are there, in respect of this ragging. Our prospects and our websites have to clearly display such messages, which have come from UGC from time to time.
My office, the Dean of Students Office, is taking care of all the issues pertaining to the students. It involves ragging issues also, and it involves other issues also. Obviously with the support of Office of Proctor, because they are the security, they see the security aspect of the student. So this workshop is about to aware the students about the anti-ragging or the ragging issues we have. We don't have, alhamdulillah, we don't have any reported case of ragging in our university so far. These years, these 10-15 years, we don't have any reported case. That's a very good thing about our university. And this workshop is to tell you about the actions and stringent action taking, to be taken for a student who is taking part in any ragging sort of thing. Ragging is a conduct of words or the passing of such comments to the student, so that he may feel deprived, he may feel, insecure in this campus. We have an expert here. He will be speaking a lot about the anti-ragging and the punishments and all other things. I'll be speaking little about what are the punishments as far as university administration is concerned. There are some legal issues that we will be speaking, and we will be listening to the expert. But there can be, as Professor Moon said, the cancellation of admission. Number 2 is the suspension from attending classes. Even if, suppose there's a regular class and you are involved in some ragging activity, you are not supposed to give the classes. You will be suspended from the classes. Then if you are involved in the hostel, if you have done some, ragging activity in the hostel, you will be expelled from the hostel. Your scholarship will be, put on hold by the university if you are involved in some ragging activity. And then you will be debarred from the examination, as Professor Moon said. And another thing is that debarring from the, if you are representing at national or international level, in some seminar, in some symposia, in some conference, publishing your papers, you will be debarred. You are not supposed to participate there, because if you are involved in any, ragging activity. And then, already said, rustication or expulsion from the institute. And then another most important thing is that if you are involved in any ragging activity in the university, even if you get the certificate from the university that you have completed your course, for next 5 years you will not get any admission in any institution because of your character certificate. You will be issued a character certificate with the remark that you were involved in this falana ragging activity. So you will not get admission for next 5 years. And there are some legal punishments to the, as Professor Moon said, or as our expert will elaborate on that. These are some institutional punishments. And now I'll give a brief 2-minute about what university is doing so that these ragging activities would never be done at our university. One is, recently we have developed a mentor-mentee diary. Mentor-mentee diary is, that has been framed by the Director Dika in collaboration with the Dean of Students. Whenever any student is involved in such activities, a ragging activity or sexual harassment activity, that will be recorded in his mentor-mentee diary. And then second semester he can go only if the mentor-mentor diary is very clean regarding these comments. We record these comments, we record these observations on your mentor-mentor diary. You will be given very soon that the copy of mentor-mentor diary. Number two, that we every year we organize the induction program, and in those induction program, those sessions, we give the students, newcomer students, special lectures on sexual harassment, special lectures on anti-ragging and the ragging issues, right? And number three is that we have an anti-ragging committee here. We have an anti-ragging squad here, and there's a full-fledged monitoring of students, whether students are, if they are involved in any anti-ragging activity or not. If they are, then they are getting called and they are getting punished. Number three is that we usually organize the cultural, I have a cultural committee under me, Dean of Students. There's a coordinator, there are members in that cultural committee. And they organize some cultural programs, they organize some skits, they organize some on-stage dramas, so that we will aware the mass, the students, about the ragging and anti-ragging issues and anti-ragging, right? And then there are cameras installed in our campus, so that we can easily, monitor if there is any unlawful activity happening in the campus.
See, why students indulge in ragging? There are many issues. One is that they want to show that they are seniors, they have a power over their juniors. This is one. They need for power, they want to demonstrate their peers, see how we can rag. That is one. Second thing is, and that is more psychologically important, you see who rags juniors. If you see, mostly it is some kind of a guy who is not good in studies, who is macho kind of a, Rambo kind of a man. It is basically insecurity. It is inferiority complex that leads a man, because he is not good at studies. He is not otherwise popular among students. So what he will do? He'll have to show somehow that he is superior. So it is his inferiority complex that manifests in the form of ragging. He is ragging his juniors because he has psychological insecurities. And it's not always that it is bad students who rag, but there is peer pressure also. Sometimes a good student, he sees his peers ragging a junior, they call him. He feels that if I don't take part in this ragging activity, I may be excommunicated, I may not be part of the group. So it is under peer pressure that he indulges in this activity. So you have to watch out. You should not be part of any activities which you are not convinced about. And then there is mob mentality. I think Superintendent of Police, Mr. Bhatti, is more qualified to talk about that. But you see, individuals behave differently when they are alone and when they are in a mob or when they are in a group. So what happens is, when a group of seniors catches hold of a junior, they start ragging him. People who initially were not part of this thing, or they had no idea of ragging. But once there's a group of students doing some activity, they become part of this group, what we call group mentality. So you have to watch out. You have to see that you don't fall prey to these things. And it is not only, it leads to other things. See, in the last 5 years, 25 Dalit students have committed suicide in institutions of national repute. IIT Hyderabad and other leading IITs, many Dalit students committed suicide. Why? Because they had come from the weakest strata of society. They had worked very hard to prove their worth. And once they were inside the campuses, on the base of their low caste or class hierarchy or whatever you say, they were ragged. And they felt so ashamed. They could not go back to their societies because they had come up from lowest strata of the society. They felt so depressed that they simply ended their life. So you are devastating by a simple act which may which may appear to be fun to many people, you are devastating families. 25 Dalit students, and then there it leads to many times sexual harassment and other kind of activities. So you have to watch out. See, there is lack of awareness, means many students are not aware why ragging is bad, what are its consequences, what it can lead to. So the rationale of celebrating these weeks is to sensitize students, to tell them why it is bad. There's a documentary on ragging. You can watch it on YouTube. It is known as Death of Merit. Death of Merit documents how many Dalit students who, despite hardships in their lives, who despite economic, social obstacles, reached institutions of prominence but had to give up. Death of merit you can see. So it is a multidimensional problem. It affects us at individual level, at social level, at cultural level, and it deprives you as seniors of a beautiful opportunity. See, if you welcome your students, you can develop lifelong friendships. Normally, a student joining a department of computer science will be a student of computer science. So if the seniors treat him well, they can develop friendships, they can develop academic collaborations, they can have research together. Since they are in the same field, they can be friends for the rest of their life. But by indulging in this kind of activity, you are instilling fear, you are instilling a feeling of hate, you are instilling a feeling of insecurity in a student who could have been your friend.
Criminal conspiracy in the ragging. Unlawful assembly while ragging. What is unlawful assembly? Unlawful assembly basically an assembly of 5 or more than 5 people to do an unlawful act. That is an unlawful assembly. Unlawful assembly जिस वक्त आप किसी रैगिंग के किसी ग्रोह को दे दिया जाएगा नाम, तो उस वक्त चाहे किसी एक पर्टिकुलर बंदे के एक्ट की वजह से ज़्यादा नुकसान हुआ हो, लगी हो, उस वक्त तो पूरी की पूरी जो असेंबली है वो सारी की सारी पेनलाइज्ड की जाएगी और सब के खिलाफ एक्शन होता है. पब्लिक न्यूसेंस क्रिएटेड ड्यूरिंग द रैगिंग. अब इसमें क्या है कि जब रैगिंग कर रहे हैं तो उसमें कुछ ऐसे स्टूडेंट्स हैं जैसे लाइब्रेरी में बैठे हुए हैं, वो पढ़ रहे हैं, उनके लिए न्यूसेंस क्रिएट हो रहा है, तो दैट हैज आल्सो बीन मेड एज अ पुनिशेबल ऑफेंस. Violations of decency and morals through ragging. Injury to the body causing hurt or grievous hurt. Wrongful restraint. जैसे हॉस्टल से बाहर नहीं आने देना है, so that is a punishable offense. Wrongful confinement. हॉस्टल के रूम के अंदर ही बंद कर देना, उनको बाहर नहीं निकलने देना है. Use of criminal force. Assault as well as sexual offense are even unnatural offenses. I must make it clear here. रैगिंग के दौरान अगर सेक्सुअल ऑफेंस या फिर अननेचुरल ऑफेंस कोई भी क्रिएट करता है तो वो रैगिंग की डेफिनेशन में उस वक्त नहीं आएगा. उसके लिए हेड ऑफ इंस्टीट्यूशन को 7 दिन की इंक्वायरी करने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. उसमें सीधा कंप्लेंट आएगी पुलिस को और पुलिस उस पर रेलिवेंट प्रोविजन के तहत FIR रजिस्टर करके अपनी इंक्वायरी करेगी, जो भी इन्वेस्टिगेशन करेगी. एक्सटॉर्शंस होते हैं और क्रिमिनल ट्रेसपास होते हैं. जैसे आपका रूम है, हमारा रूम होता था, उसमें कोई भी घुस जाता था रैगिंग के दौरान रात को कि नहीं आपको हमने एक्सपर्ट बनाना है. क्रिमिनल इंटिमिडेशन. नो व्हाट आर द मेजर्स फॉर प्रिवेंशन ऑफ रैगिंग एट द इंस्टीट्यूशनल लेवल अंडर द सेड रेगुलेशंस. बिफोर एडमिशन हमें क्या क्या करना है? The advertisement for the admission shall clearly mention that ragging is totally banned in the institution. So इसमें कोई मतलब वो है ही नहीं है. जो भी ब्रोशर होगा उसमें क्लियरली मेंशन होगा कि जनाब रैगिंग जो है वो टोटली इंस्टीट्यूशन में बैन है. द ब्रोशर ऑफ द एडमिशंस बुकलेट फॉर द कैंडिडेट शैल प्रिंट द MCA रेगुलेशन 2009. ये जो रेगुलेशंस मैंने अभी पढ़ी ये सारी उसके ऊपर ब्रोशर्स के ऊपर प्रिंटेड होंगी. The prospectus and the other admission related documents shall incorporate all directions of the Honorable Supreme Court in this regard. सुप्रीम कोर्ट की जितनी भी गाइडलाइंस हैं, बेसिकली इन सब चीज़ों को प्रिंट करने का मतलब क्या है कि अभी बच्चा एडमिशन नहीं ले रहा है, उसको पहले से अपने राइट्स के बारे में अवेयर करना.
pressures its senior enters the stage. Freshers step forward, looking excited yet slightly apprehensive as they take their positions. Enjoy. Two senior students entering with confidence and authoritative demeanor, positioning themselves near the arrivals, indicating their role in ragging.
चाहे नीचे मेन गेट हो, डिपार्टमेंट हो, हर जगह सीसीटीवी अवेलेबल है। बस हम फुटेज मंगवाएंगे तो हम आपका मसला हल करेंगे।
मगर ना ये कुछ तरीक मतलब आप लोगों की यूनिवर्सिटी में ऐसे रैगिंग होती है तो एंटी रैगिंग कैंपस है ना? आप हमें इंश्योर कराए कि हमारी बच्चियां यहाँ पे सेफ हैं।
ठीक है शेयर बैलेट सुने तावन बेल्टस सिर्फ बेल्टस कराएं और अनफुटेज कटे जल्दी मैं ये टेंशन है लोग प्लीज करो। हां आई कार्ड चेक करो आई कार्ड इसको निकालो। ये क्या जुइनास फुटेज नहीं मैं तो कोने तो मैं फोन अन बदल ये बटनदार फोन तो ये किस मैडम फुटेज है
ये कोई बच्चे इनकी लास्ट टाइम भी कंप्लेंट आई थी।
आपको बच्चे इनका नाम पता है? कुछ पहचान सकते हो उन्हें किस वजह से?
वो आपस में एक दूसरे को मिट्टू और खंडू कह के बुलाते हैं।
हां ये चिट्ठी में फोकस लग ये कोई बात नहीं हम मसला देखेंगे आपका। रमजान आनो क्यों खा करे सोच नहीं मानो खाकरे जल्दी इनको दफाई करेंगे इस बार। आई कार्ड करो चेक वालेकुम अस्सलाम ए वाथे हमदा छी बुलाओ वाथे साहब ना छी बुलाओ मत उठो ए वाथे सागरी डेंटिंग काय देई छे आई कार्ड का है हेलो अच्छा तो ही रोज शॉट हा कॉलर शॉट ओ बैठो सीधे चलो तो अंदर साइड स्टॉक हिम ओके साइड से थाई फ्योक शॉट अटके शिवार गुमत क्या था यो सीटी लेक्चर बैठी छुटी जमत में इनके चेन छ लाग में जच जोम तर चुम ट्रैक किस लोग मत ए दाली मन
तो चुकू भी छान इंचे जान गुंड
ओइली बासल डायरेक्टर
ए खुदाया सूज मत लीच
ओ मामला क्या ये सब निकल से क्या चैनल में डोल सर ने भाई बस खड़ा चढ़ी कोड नेवर ममदर जन हम की में तो तब ममदर जन तो शेयर कोड नेट पहले हम की में तो आज का टूर थे अनि के चलो आगे
Tas tu ya sugar over karna wai.
ये पक्का है ओडे ठीक है सच अस्तावस में तो दही चियन का नेवर कट चियन नेवर
ये नहीं निकलता है
ए क्या क्या तुम काट तुम शिकार मैं के शिकार था क्या ये स्टाइल है
Thoda dur bana.
हेलो दोस्तों, मेरा नाम है शिनचान नोहारा। मैं आप लोगों का बहुत बहुत स्वागत करता हूँ। अगर आप लोगों में से किसी ने रैगिंग की तो सर प्रॉक्टर सर आपकी खूब पिटाई करेंगे। अब मैं इतना भी कुछ खास नहीं। ओह जीगो आंटी जरा जोर से ताली तो बजाओ। डिंग 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 डिंग। मेरा नाम है निंजा हथौड़ी। मैं आप लोगों से एक रिक्वेस्ट करना चाहता हूँ, प्लीज अपने जूनियर्स की रैगिंग ना करें। हाय दिया कैसन बा? हम एकदम ठीक बा।